It's Friday morning. We were working quite late last night moving straw because it was going to rain. Annoyingly, it hasn't rained yet, but it is starting to spit. Just noticed this tire's a little bit soft on this. This is the one that's been loading the chicken muck. Yeah, so that was, we got one field spread yesterday and worked in, so the smell should have subsided off that now. I'm going to have a quick look at the spreader as well. I'm not sure if you can see on the camera, but it's proper wonky. It only looks a little bit soft, but it doesn't half make a difference. All the lights have been left on as well because they come in last night in the dark. Yeah, there's a spits of rain now on the window. I'll move this area out the way so we can get to the air line. This is what we've been using to work the muck in so it doesn't smell. Andrew's now off to Rain Hill to spread the muck up there for that field. Hannah is going to take the mini burler up and use that for loading it. We can't put it inside the spreader. It actually looks like it fit, to be fair. There's a valve cap missing off this and it's leaking, so we're just going to put a valve cap on it. Richard was up early this morning with the solace and he's gone and cut the dog fields, or a few of them, before it rained. Annoyingly though, the pin fell out of that, the linch pin come out and it dropped down and caught the floor, so I have to straighten that. It's a bit of a shame. Check this in the other side. Yeah, it's still got a clip on. So these clips here, they'd probably be better actually with a little R clip, because you can get stuff wrapped behind them and it just like flicks it out. But we'll sort that. Might take the loader off as well, actually make it a little bit more nimble, but it is handy for moving stuff around. I'm just going to shoot to Liverpool now because I've been invited to look round the free port, so basically the docks where they bring all the boats in. So there it is. That is massive, that boat. So that's got 5,000 containers on it, and there's a crane there. Going to pick one up and put it on. That boat there only carries around 200. It takes 2.5 days to unload this one. Comes from Turkey once a week. You unload it, fill it, unload it, fill it again. Fast track here. These ones are completely automated, apart from the last meter has to be done manually by someone sat at a desk in there. We'll pick the one up behind the side. That's going to drop that on that truck now. It stops, then a person takes over for the last bit. Presumably the truck has to be in the right place. Touchdown. I'm back now, really interesting day, looking around the port and then kind of like I don't know what you'd call it, like a bit of a networking seminar in a local restaurant, Chinese restaurant. Anyway, we're going to have a proper look at this spreader because it's a bit of an animal and I've barely seen it. So, first things first, that plugs in there, puts lights on the back. I unplugged it last night because Andrew left it plugged in the cab and the LED lights on the back were still on. So what's clever about this is, can you see this thing here? The whole spreader box is suspended on these. So these are weigh cells. So if you imagine it's sat on the top there, and this little sensor then is measuring how much that bar deflects, so it can weigh what's inside. It's not particularly new technology, but only really been on spreaders maybe for the last sort of, well, maybe 10 years. Maybe 10% of the spreaders had them on. Now probably most of them got them on. So when you load it up, it knows exactly how much is in. Then it knows its ground speed because it plugs into what's called the Isobus plug on the tractor, which is that one up there. I thought it was here, but it's not, it's up there. That's the ABS one. Then gets its ground speed off the tractor, so it knows that if it's got, say, 10 ton in, and if it takes it 10 seconds to spread a ton out, going at whatever the forward speed is, it can work out whether it's putting enough on or not enough on. It's got automatic chain tensioner here, which is that ramp that keeps this chain tight, which I'm going to climb up the ladder and show you properly. The chain also controls the dose rate. This is hard to do with one hand. So if you want to put more on or less on, you tell it on the computer screen in the cab, which you saw yesterday, and then that'll control how fast that belt turns, which delivers the material to the back, where it drops on these huge spinning discs and it throws it as far as it can. Chicken muck is very light, so it wasn't throwing it as far as the tram lines. So we did what we'd call a double overlap, and we spread it at every 12 meters because it was kind of getting to 24, but not as even as we needed it. So let's call this ladder now with the pins. So just looks like a normal spreader. Bars go up and down, put the material to the back. Can you open the door on the back, Andrew? So I can see inside. Andrew's just turned up. You can't see because the door's shut, which stops it falling out, but there's a big door on the back here. This is what's called a border spread. That goes down, deflects the material down, stopping it going too wide. So if you're going like a longer road or past some houses or footpath or a ditch, you don't want to spread it in the ditch. It'll come around the disc, hit that, and deflect straight down again, so it doesn't go too wide. Anyway, Andrew's gonna open the back up now, so you can see. So yeah, so they're the LED lights that are plugged in on that other plug. What's he doing? I can hear him pressing buttons. There we go. Ugh, glad I wasn't stood under that when it opened. So the material gets conveyed to the back on this chain, then them rotors there just chomp away at it and chew it up into like friable material, and then they'll drop down onto these discs, and then they obviously accelerate it because they spin really fast and throw it out as wide as possible. So if you look at our other spreader over there, there's not, it's completely different, but then equally it's kind of similar. That's got two rotors spinning that way, whereas if you look at this one, it's part in the back of the hedge, so it's hard to see. The rotors go in the opposite direction. You can see they're up and down. Maybe not. Yeah, I don't think it's ever been back that far back, but typically for the example it is. So because they spin so fast and so wide, and this shreds the material nice and fine before it drops down, that's what gives you this even spread pattern. So this is what the chicken muck looks like. Just looks like sawdust with chicken muck mixed in with it. Looks like it's got auto lube on it. A little tank here with oil in. That must probably lubricate, probably a bit of chain in there, I reckon, to drive them. And then there'll be another chain this side to drive the top ones. That's the bed, similar to ours, but on ours that hangs down. On this one it's obviously up in the air, gives it a bit more clearance for the decks. So massive BKT 710s, keep it above ground. It's got a sprung drawbar on it, and it's also got air brakes, so you can obviously see that more identifiable by the pipe sticking out the front. That looks like some sort of oil filter. But yeah, it's a bit of a monster. You can actually get a bigger one as well with bigger boards on it. Andrew's going to stand next to it for scale. Especially if you're spreading light materials all the time, like chicky muck. The more you put in, the better, because then you're loading up less frequently. There you go. Andrew's just shutting the back up now. I presume this is so that you don't spill muck on the mudguard. It just deflects off, and it obviously probably gives it a bit of strength as well. It's quite wide on the road though. I think it's 3.2 metres wide. Stayed clean now, hasn't it? Yeah. Andrew's found a fault with it when you're going up and down the field. That swings and it's chipped the paint. Now you could take it off and leave it in the yard, but obviously then something will happen and you want to drop the spreader off quick in another yard or in a field and you're not got a block with you. So that needs some sort of like rubber cushioning or a bungee cord maybe. Something. I don't know. Or the other way around.
Yeah, it's like swinging back and forth.
Oh, so it swings back. Well, it does on ours, doesn't it? It does on these trailers. Which one? In fact, that fell off, didn't it? We need to get a new guard for that. It fell off. In fact, no, that's in the workshop. That's what's on top of Rob's toolbox. Oh yeah, no, ours swings that way there, but then this one. Yeah, there you go, backwards and forwards on the trailers, so it doesn't sort of hit anything. But yeah, that needs something on it really.
Is it open this bit here?
Yeah, it opened up, yeah.
The bottom bit here?
What do you mean?
Hinge, innit?
Well, I presume you can to clean it out, but it's presumably on them bolts with the spring tensioner. There's spare shear bolts probably for that chain for them beaters. Well, that's a sensor in it, so it knows how fast they're spinning.
And your lights.
And the lights are up there. Like them lights down there. There, that must be the pump to do the hydraulic chain tensioning. So you must turn that valve, pump it up, and that gives you the chain tension on there. And then ram's coming out the other one, had a nut on, and you wind the nut and shove these carriers forwards. Yeah, there you go. The wide spreader, whatever it means. I don't know what DS stands for. Well, DS used to be Delilah, didn't it? Because they used to be called a Delilah spreader. But yeah, I don't know what the DS stands for. HDB heavy duty, would it? Or high discharge, will it? I think, yeah, but that stands for high speed, doesn't it? HS on there. And then S is Suffolk. Don't know what the F's for. Someone will know. Train on the block. No train on the block. He took it off because he got sick of people coming to shows asking him what the train was for. Because his dad liked trains. It is a monster though. We just need a bigger tractor on the front, I think, just to make it look a bit more matched. Now, when I started the birthday bumper a few years ago, it started to get quite out of hand. There was messages coming through on every single platform and loads of people wanting birthday shout outs. And the list was getting quite long. So I said, right, okay, if you want to do it, you've got to donate to the air ambulance. And that dramatically reduced them, and it also made a list on the Just Giving page of where everything was. Problem is now, it's grown in popularity and it's getting out of hand again. So has anyone got any solutions of how we can carry on raising money, but make it so it doesn't take as much time up in the videos as it sometimes does? Do I just put a photograph at the end? Do I carry on reading them out? Do I do a separate post with them on? I don't know. But yeah, anyway, I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, about 15 people on it today, so we're going to do it dead quick. Alex is on there, Callum's on there, Nick's on there, Val's on there, Paul's on there, Cookie Cook, Charlie Peach is on there, Andy Webb, Jamie Warwick, Liz, John, Stephen, William, Kevin Jones, Abby and Andy Jones, and we've raised £43,478. Happy birthday everyone on there, and anyone else whose birthday is today. We were supposed to have a lot of rain today. We didn't really have that much. It is now raining. Hopefully we won't get too much, but at least it's washing the biosolids in and the chicken muck that we spread. But a few people have been going, oh, what's that smell? But yeah, it's dished in and rained in. Should be good. And we can get some OSR drilled over the weekend, fingers crossed, and get back into cutting some wheat. Now we're finally getting through the backlog of the drying. My dad's been basically blending and drying grain for the last 6 weeks, so I think you get a bit fed up with it now. Anyway, that's all for today. Thanks for watching. If you made it this far, give it a like, and I'll see you tomorrow.